Morning, everybody. Welcome to another CyberOne webinar. Today's topic is Copilot for Microsoft 365, Game Changer or Risk Maker. I'm Chris Goff, I'm the COO of CyberOne, and with me I have Craig Fretwell as well.
Hi, my name is Craig Fretwell. I'm a 3 times Microsoft Security MVP, and we've got a great presentation for you for this webinar today.
So without further ado, I'll run through our intro quickly, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of the presentation. So for any of you that aren't familiar with who we are, we're CyberOne, and we are the most trusted cyber experience in the digital world. We provide a whole range of cyber services for a whole range of customers. A couple of facts about the business very quickly. Founded in 2004 and privately owned. Operate out of 3 main global locations, both in the UK and our main SOC hub also in the Philippines. We're a multi-award-winning organisation for the quality and capability of our services. Over 200 customers, 45 plus managed services across a whole variety of customer segments. So across cyber, we have a diverse portfolio of services. We cover the full managed services, everything from SOC, fully managed Microsoft 365 services, which we call our Azure 365 service platform, NOC services, secure NOC services, and pen testing and everything you could possibly expect. We're a strong technical focused business, and we operate our technical teams both leading out to the UK, but also again supported by our team in the Philippines. And we also have a diverse range of skills, everything from solution architects right through to security and cyber analysts. We're all about putting customers first, and we have some great customer relationships that we've held on to and grown over many years, and also our credentials that you would expect any capable cyber provider. We have those also. So just moving forwards, apologies. So let's talk about the webinar topic for today. And Craig, over to you. You there, Craig? Just to do this intro.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, my bad. So we've got a great webinar scheduled for today on Copilot Game Changer or Risk Maker. And it all starts with how Microsoft first involved with the partnership, and then looking at how productive Copilot can be within your environments, while also having those safeguarding methods of releasing Copilot securely and safely within your environment without opening it up to too much business risk.
So we are doing a follow-up face-to-face session as well for anyone who finds this interesting and wants to know more. That's in the Shard on the Thursday, the 25th of April. And at the end of this session, we will be also taking some questions and answers as well. So without further ado, let's kick off.
The world is changing with the integration of Copilot for Microsoft 365 into business operations. Represents a significant stride in leveraging the ongoing digitization of business landscapes. So this era is not just about the transformation of industries or shifting macroeconomic environments. It's about acknowledging and embracing the technological inflection points that we're experiencing today. And this digitization of businesses is revolutionizing, how we operate, how we communicate, how we deliver value to customers. And it's not merely about transitioning from paper to digital anymore. It's about harnessing the power of data, AI, and cloud technologies to create more efficient, agile, and intelligent enterprises. So Microsoft 365 Copilot exemplifies this shift by integrating generative AI across Microsoft's suite of productivity tools, enabling businesses to automate mundane tasks, generate content, and analyze data more effectively than ever before. Industries across the board, from healthcare to finance, from education to manufacturing, are undergoing profound transformations. So this evolution is driven by digital technologies that enable new business models and streamline operations. And Microsoft 365 Copilot really stands at the forefront of this inflection point, symbolizing how AI can enhance human capabilities and redefine what's possible within the workplace. And the pace of volume of work is unlike anything we've experienced before. So we're spending too much time searching for information and navigating inefficient meetings, which leaves less time for deep thinking, creating content, and social collaboration. But the sheer volume of data, emails, and chats has really outpaced our ability to process it all. And Microsoft are labeling this as digital debt. So every minute spent managing this digital debt is a minute not spent on creative work. And in a world where creativity is the new productivity, digital debt is more than an inconvenience, and it's impacting business. So a recent study shows that nearly 2 in 3 people say they don't have enough time and energy to do their job. And those same employees are 3.5 times more likely to struggle with innovation and strategic thinking. And this recent study from Microsoft found that 87% of leaders believe that AI will give their organization a competitive edge. And adopting AI technology offers unprecedented opportunities for innovation, efficiency, and customer engagement. So by leveraging AI, organizations can automate, routine tasks, unearth insights from data analytics, drive decision-making process with predictive analysis. The challenge lies in harnessing AI's full potential to stay ahead of the curve. And this really involves developing like a clear strategy for AI integration that aligns with your organization's goals and operational needs. So this includes identifying key areas where AI can have the most significant impact, such as customer service, product development, or operational efficiency. And the number one question we get asked at Side One is, how will our organization be able to seize the full potential of AI while safeguarding our business, our data, and our employees? And we'll talk about that shortly. But before we do, I want to talk about the partnership between OpenAI and Microsoft. And this is obviously a groundbreaking collaboration that merges, OpenAI's cutting edge artificial intelligence research with Microsoft's robust infrastructure and market reach. And Microsoft's investment in OpenAI has shared, a vision for the future of artificial intelligence. And this collaboration has led to several key developments, such as, Azure's AI supercomputing infrastructure. So OpenAI uses Microsoft Azure's powerful computing capabilities to train and run increasingly complex AI models. And the joint innovations has made the partnership committed to bringing new market and new AI technologies that can benefit people and organizations. And throughout this collaboration, we've seen the integration of advanced AI features into Microsoft 365 products, enhancing productivity and creating tools like, natural language summarization, code generation, and much more. And both OpenAI and Microsoft are deeply committed to the ethical development and deployment of AI. And Microsoft's investment in OpenAI also includes funding for ongoing AI research and development, ensuring that the partnership, continues to drive innovation in AI technologies. And this long-term commitment supports OpenAI's mission to ensure that artificial intelligence benefits from humanity right now, leading right now, this is obviously leading to the rapid adoption of AI, but it doesn't come without, its set of risks. And the swift of adoption of AI in the business realm is surfacing significant challenges with any size organization. And it's not just the technology engineering side. Concerns are widespread with many organizations, recognizing the urgent need for oversight on AI usage, indicating a substantial portion grappling with insufficient management risk controls. Looking ahead, there's an exception or an expectation of increased regulatory scrutiny, and predictions suggest potential regulatory consequences for non-compliance in data protection and AI governance. And this landscape calls for immediate attention to establish comprehensive governance frameworks and data protection measures to really navigate these challenges, effectively and ethically. And it really all starts with, the Microsoft shared responsibility model. So when you look at integrating AI into your operations, it's crucial to comprehend the shared responsibility model. And this framework outlines the tasks handled by the AI service providers versus those your organizations must manage. So the extent of your responsibilities will depend on whether you're utilizing, SaaS, PaaS, or IaaS technologies. And each model requires a different level of oversight and control over operations and security policies. So it's pivotal to identify and fulfill your obligations to ensure that there's safe deployment of AI technologies. And in the architecture of AI enabled applications, there are three functional layers where tasks are divided between the AI service provider and the client. And the AI platform is the foundation, supplying AI capabilities through APIs. And it's vital to develop and defend this platform's infrastructure, which encompasses the AI models, training data, and model-specific parameters. So a key objective for this layer is to establish defense against dangerous inputs to the AI model and to monitor for any harmful outputs that generative models might produce, adapting safeguards as threats evolves. So the AI application layer is where users directly interact with AI functionalities. So it can range from simple to complex systems. Simple applications might only pass, user prompts to an AI model, whereas more complex ones might pass additional context, connecting with other data sources or other data streams to enhance that response, which makes it a more complex process because it has to hit more data points. So security within this layer is obviously paramount, and it involves rigorous inspection of both the prompts sent to the AI and the data exchanged with the plugins or other, integrations from that complex model. So the AI layer usage really pertains to the practical application of AI technology. So unlike traditional interfaces, generative AI is highly interactive, molding itself to the user's intentions. So this dynamic nature places more control in the user's hand, thereby underscoring the need for robust security measures. Ensuring safe AI usage really involves comprehensive identity and access management, vigilant monitoring of devices, and stringent data governance. And these are fundamental for safeguarding the system's integrity and the stakeholders involved, which is why when you look at adopting AI, you need to prepare for it. And when you're looking at preparing for artificial intelligence, it doesn't matter what it is. Obviously, this is focused on Copilot, but you need to be asking yourself, what are your goals for using AI? Do you want to implement artificial intelligence driven analytics or product development for competitive edge? or just use, Copilot to be more efficient for your day-to-day tasks. And then what are your current pain points? Is there anything where you think you can leverage AI to help with, automating repetitive tasks, reducing that human error? You may think you might be using AI at the minute, leveraging existing cloud infrastructures, might be, able to pilot AI projects into customers and segment, target marketing. The biggest thing is, does your organization have a data strategy? Now, this is a really big topic. We won't go into it that much into this webinar, but you need to look at, data collection and storage. Do you have large amounts of structured and unstructured data, and where is it stored? Are you leveraging a data governance model like Purview for data discovery? Ensuring that data is managed accordingly with controls, compliance like GDPR and HIPAA. Do you have any data protection? Are you leveraging tools for data classification and ensuring that secure data is at rest and in transit? And is it labeled with any watermarks? And finally, does your organization have the necessary infrastructure and resources to support the AI initiatives? For Copilot, you just need a valid 365 subscription. And then that gives you access to the components I'll talk about right now with the 365. And then once you understand your business case and you've reviewed the risk, then you can start leveraging Microsoft 365 for Copilot. And yes, this is an absolute game changer. And Copilot really frees your mind from the tools and repetitive tasks, so you can spend more time focusing on what matters, like running your day-to-day business, growing your customers, building your brand, and scaling securely. And Copilot is embedded across all the Microsoft 365's apps that you use today. So you can be more creative in Word, more analytical in Excel, more expressive in PowerPoint, more productive in Outlook, and more collaborative in Teams. And Copilot really helps you with everyday workday efficiencies. So you can ask Copilot to summarize a long PDF, if there's a service description or some sort of legal document, and you only want to know, the key points of this. Maybe it's something to do with financials, or, how long is a project going to take, etc. You can drop the PDF in and ask Copilot to summarize it, focusing on specific areas. Maybe you're working on a PowerPoint presentation, you need visuals. Well, Copilot's got you covered. It generates images that can enhance your presentations and reports, making them more engaging. And if you need, specific answers for complex questions, when you've got tough queries, Copilot can really act as your research assistant, offering in-depth answers to complex questions and saving you a lot of time and effort. And I just want to talk about this scenario right here, because this is a great scenario, to really help you understand the art of the possible. So Copilot for 365 can help you create a more efficient hiring process from a HR perspective. This can help reduce cost, improve productivity, and help ensuring that you're selecting the most suitable candidates for the right role. So you could use Word to create a job description for a SOC engineer role based on your internal SOC requirements, and then leverage Copilot based on the candidate's CV to provide, a summary of the skills, experience, and qualifications. And then you can use Copilot Loop to create a set of interview questions for the position. Ask about previous experience, goals, and include some questions about, personal interests, etc. And then conduct a group interview in Teams and ask Copilot to summarize the contributions of that candidate. And then if they are successful and you've agreed, then use Copilot to create an offer letter, in Word for the position of the SOC engineer with a start date of whatever it may be, and then include benefits from our handbook. So you may have a handbook benefits, right? And just get that thrown straight in there. And Copilot for 365 really enhances efficiency by streamlining workflows and automating tasks. enabling users to focus on, high value work. And another scenario is really based on our CEO, Dominic. So Dominic obviously starts the day at 7 a.m. and he has a customer call, and he uses Copilot in Teams to help understand, customers' requirement because they might be interested in SOC services. At 8:30, he realizes he utilizes Copilot in Outlook, to manage his emails more efficiently, replying to, all the sales team to ask how the proposal's coming on. Then at 9 a.m., he catches up on his missed meetings with Copilot in Teams and notify him of any actions that he needs to follow up on. So Chris, who's a COO, he's probably had an action to say, what time are we getting to the event on this day? Is there anything that we need to prepare for, etc. And then at 2 p.m., Dominic kicks off his event speech, and he uses Copilot in Word to really add a section about, new schemes coming up, new ventures that we're working on. Then at 3 p.m., Dominic's notified of a critical P1, in the SOC. So he uses Copilot to summarize relevant communication to understand the situation and the scenario and the severity. And at 7 p.m., after the incident is resolved, Dominic then starts working on a speech for the Cyber1 kickoff event, and he asks Copilot in Word for, humorous opening lines. And this is really just a small preview of the capabilities that Copilot can provide. Now, there is obviously some foundational aspects of 365 which are designed for the needs of the enterprise. So Microsoft, as always, they do a lot of research before they go release products to make sure that it is business ready. And Microsoft have mapped their efforts to the AI principles and responsible AI standard, which are built on decades of research and privacy preserving machine learning. And these principles emphasize, fairness, reliability, safety, privacy, security, inclusiveness, transparency, and accountability. And by adhering to these standards, Copilot represents a new era of AI that is ethical, responsible, and obviously aligned with human values. So Copilot automatically inherits your organization's security and compliance and privacy policies from 365. So data is managed in line with your current commitments. So Copilot's large language model is not trained on your tenant data. And Microsoft have worked to design that experience that prioritizes human agency and puts the user in control. And the technology underlying Copilot it's not an overnight innovation. It's built on decades of research, natural language processing, and machine learning. And this research is focused on understanding and processing human language in a way that respects privacy, security, and really laying the groundwork down for Copilot's capabilities. But there needs to be a level of governance in place before organizations should even think about, adopting Copilot, even if it's only, a couple of licenses. So I want to talk about the 6 AI principles, which are the foundations for the responsible AI and governance framework. So this foundation frames the RAI standard and your internal policy, which serve as strict guidelines for the development of AI technology. Now, I won't go into too much detail here, but I just want to cover these off really quickly. So auditing and in responsible AI is pivotal for ensuring that AI systems adhere to ethical standards throughout their life cycle. Continuous monitoring by Microsoft guarantees the integrity of these systems by emphasizing a commitment to ethical AI. Adherence to legal frameworks and ensuring that AI development is in line with ethical considerations through comprehensive implementation strategies. So this includes the integration of ethics from the outset, establishing clear oversight roles, and leveraging specific tools designed to maintain ethical standards. So even with these comprehensive AI security principles in place, there is still a risk, and it's a very big risk, of AI behaving in undesirable ways. And this would result in human activity controlling this behavior. So it's crucial for organizations to have a set of robust security controls in place to hopefully, counteract adversarial actions in the event of a breach. And this starts with, knowing your data and understanding your risks. So first, we have to look at, what is sensitive data to you? What could be sensitive data? It could be anything. So it could be passport numbers, driving license numbers, credit card numbers, bank account numbers, trade secrets, network topology diagrams that have, IP addresses with the port numbers on there. This is sensitive data. And where does that data live? So the data stored on premise in physical servers. Is it in SharePoint, Teams, OneDrive? Is it stored locally on an employee's laptop? And then who has access to that? What content is being created that employees can access? And is it internal and external to the organization, or is it one or the other? And who has that access control? Is there access management controls in place to prevent, things being shared with other people that don't have the right access? And how is it used? Are there certain parts of sensitive data exposed to third parties or individuals, like contractors, that shouldn't, have permanent access, but only temporarily access? And then what is the risk? What is the risk? The risk of data exposure could really lead to financial loss, reputational damage, legal consequences for an organization. And the impact and the cost of a data breach could substantially, give you huge financial losses, regulatory fines, and long-term reputational harm. And then with all the areas and risks identified, we need to understand how we can protect that. And it all starts with data classification, which kind of brings me back to the beginning quite nicely. So start by, classifying your data, leverage automatic classification if you have Purview available. Then tag your data with data labeling. Ensure that correct labeling is in place for each sensitivity area, so that if a user opens a Word document and copies a passport number in, then you can be sure that it's going to automatically classify that document, regardless if they set the label to say general, because Purview is going to know that it contains a passport number, and that level has already been set up at the top level hierarchy. And then data access controls, if you look at identifying and authentication, so ensuring that only verified users can access systems, MFA, that should be enabled globally. I don't care what environment or what organization you work in, MFA is the first control which should ever be turned on, and it should be turned on for everything. Managed endpoint security devices, conditional access. And if you look at authorization, defining what users and what resources can they access once they're authenticated. Making sure that you leverage role-based access control, group memberships. No individual users should be assigned to any one given access control. And then data protection controls. Enforcing watermarks on statement of works and purchase order documents, that's going to help prevent data leakage. Forcing time-based restrictions, limiting access to systems to specific times of the day or the week. Geographical restrictions, ensuring that access is only based on the geographical location of that user, conditional access. And data lifecycle, having a good data hygiene in place is absolutely crucial for something like Copilot. Where is the data being collected? Where is it being processed? Where is it stored? How often are these files being accessed? If a file's not been accessed for, I don't know, a year, 2 years, do we still need this file? Let's have a look at archiving that. Do we have a sharing data process? And that's a lot of good points to really focus on. But before you go enable Copilot, you really need to look at, the security risks, as we've mentioned, identity. And in any organization, the overarching principle for user access, users should only have the concept of least privilege, granting user access for that necessary role. And regulatory monitoring of user access is essential to ensure, compliance with this principle. And it's also critical to verify access explicitly to avoid any implicit trust. Additionally, always assume breach. This is the mindset that should be maintained, which means operating under the belief that breaches can and will occur, thereby staying vigilant and prepared to respond effectively. And obviously, the most common attack vector in cybersecurity is phishing. So monitoring high privileged accounts, if IT admins have access to everything, ensure that they are being monitored, with like Microsoft Sentinel or something like that. But if their account did get breached, an adversary could take, full control of Copilot, asking them to, summarize an email in the same tone as before and attach a phishing link for malware to damage the company. So this is why identity needs to be taken very seriously. Regular phishing campaigns, monitoring of those high privileged accounts and users are going to help, really mitigate that down the long time. And if we look at data, so data leakage, so tagging and classification needs to be in place. Automatic tagging for unclassified documents that include sensitive information, applying watermarks to confidential documents, forcing labels to ensure documents are secured and labeled with the right classification. And this, kind of to recap, game changer or risk maker, it's both really. Yes, it is absolutely a game changer, but it also is a risk maker. Without having the fundamental controls and boundaries and policies in place, it would be so much reputational damage if you went and enabled Copilot and, a user might have access to something that you don't even know. For example, someone might be in the same team, they get Copilot enabled, and they may see, performance reviews or, pay increases because that information is sat in a SharePoint site or a team site, which they may not have access to, but a simple keyword search with Copilot and it will go and find that information if it has access to. If it doesn't have access to, it's still going to respect the privacy boundaries of that. It's not going to say you don't have access to this. It's just going to say it can't find any information from that. But yes, it's a game changer. Obviously, use AI responsibly. You can achieve a lot with Microsoft 365 for Copilot. But again, security controls in your organizations, you must understand the risk. You must improve your security protection. And with that, I'd like to showcase our 5-day workshop, which really gets you ready for Copilot. So first, we'd establish some stakeholders to talk to, up to 5 of them. We'd outline, the activities which are going to be covered. We'll give you an overview of Copilot, have a look at the pre-workshop, and then explore the data classifications and governance within the Microsoft ecosystem. We'll review a joint assessment with you. Now, this would cover data security, identity, and endpoint management. And then once you've analyzed that, we'd then look at having, okay, we've got the technical Copilot configurations here. How we're going to prioritize your deployment, who we're going to roll out this to first, and we'd look at having a phased implementation of a roadmap, and then an adoption of continuous improvement, and provide you with communication of an effective communication plan.
Thanks, Craig. Hopefully everybody found that useful. We have had a couple of questions in, so let's quickly take a look at what we have. So first up, we've got a question that's asking, how secure is the information processed by Microsoft 365 Copilot? Craig, do you want to have a crack at that?
Yeah, sure. So that's a really good question, actually. So Microsoft really prioritizes security and compliance across all of the 365 services, including Copilot. The information is processed by Copilot, and it adheres to Microsoft's stringent data protection and privacy policies. So it really employs, the advanced security measures to safeguard, your personal data, ensuring that access and the process complies with organizational policies and your industry standards.
Thanks, Craig. I have a second question here. Is Microsoft 365 Copilot capable of scheduling meetings based on email conversations?
Yeah, absolutely it is. And this is one of the great features of Copilot, which it can help schedule those meetings directly from an email conversation. So it understands the context and the preferences mentioned in the emails, and then it can propose like meeting times to the participants that are involved within this email, and then manage the responses. And it even sets up the meeting in your calendar by automating this coordination process in the background.
Fantastic. And I think this is the last question that we have. How does Microsoft 365 Copilot assist with data analysis in Excel?
Well, yeah, that's a good one. So using Excel with 365 for Copilot, it can interpret data, by providing natural insights through the natural language queries. So it can analyze like trends from different types of data, create like complex formulas, generate summaries of the data, making it easier to help really like draw a conclusion for that type.
Thanks, Craig. And actually, we've had another question. So it is great explanation about AI and Copilot. Thank you. Is a min requirement for all this to work? What is the minimum requirement for all this to work? What is, or at what point do you look and suggest the licensing levels required?
So there used to be a minimum requirement of 300 licenses for Copilot, but now Microsoft has removed that limit. So now it's you can have 1, 10, 1,000, it doesn't matter. But the focus boundaries for the security principles are to really make sure that you're stringent on your data protection needs. So if you don't have licenses for like Purview, this is the biggest driver for Microsoft Copilot, because it helps understand your data at a high container architectural layer. And having Purview really helps understand, what users can access, how we can enforce policies and protect data at that point. So if you have Microsoft 365 Business Premium, I think you can get the add-on for Purview, which is great for that license.
Brilliant. And I think just to clarify also, Craig, Copilot's available for, is it Business Premium E3 5? Have we got that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
So most licensing levels will cover it. Obviously, you need to make sure you've got access to the security suite to make sure you can put your data classification in place. So there might be, I think there's a couple of other add-ons that if you're an E3 if you're an E3 user that you'll need to implement as well for access for Purview and Priva.
Yeah.
Another question: can Copilot evaluate SQL data and provide reporting into Power BI?
Yes, it can. So it can easily facilitate the evaluation of SQL data. It would first then assist in like data extraction from the SQL database by using Power BI queries, and then transform and load that data in the Power BI model. And then Copilot can help assisting in generating reports and dashboards along that, and helping visualize that SQL data. So yes, absolutely.
Fantastic. So I don't see any other questions inbound. So I'd like to thank everyone who's attended today. Hopefully you found that useful. As a quick reminder, we have our Shard event on Thursday the 25th of April at 1600. Everyone's invited to come along, and if you want a bit more of a face-to-face dive into Copilot and the game changer risk maker conversation, please do come along. In the meantime, both thanks from both Craig and myself, and hopefully you've enjoyed this, and we look forward to delivering another webinar to you very soon. Thank you very much.